guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my kitchen. I'm so happy every time I get to come into my kitchen to do a video with you guys. I am extremely happy. I love being in here. So today I'm going to take a regular box cake, any brand, doesn't matter, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how you can make it taste more like homemade. Super simple, doesn't cost any more. It'll be things you already have in your kitchen. So let's go ahead and get started because I want to get this cake baking so we can eat it. Okay guys, so here's my mixing bowl, and what I'm going to do is first I'm going to get a bowl and put a cup of butter into the bowl and throw it in the microwave so I can melt it. So I'm going to put this right here so you can see, and I'm just going to unwrap the butter, and each butter is half a cup. I need a cup because what I'm going to do to make this taste more like homemade, I'm going to do 3 different things. First, I'm going to substitute where it calls for water, I'm going to substitute milk. Second, where it calls for vegetable oil, I'm going to substitute butter. And this calls for half a cup of vegetable oil. So when you substitute your butter, you double it. So you do twice the butter to the oil. So half a cup of oil translates into 1 cup of butter. And I'm going to soften my butter up so I don't want to have to mix this a long time, because when you overmix, cakes can get really tough. They don't rise properly and all of that. So here is my cup of butter because I am not doing half a cup of oil. I'm going to put that on 30 seconds and let that kind of melt. And while that's getting soft, I'm going to bring my empty mixing bowl and I'm just going to take my packaged cake mix out of the box. And here it is. And I'm going to cut it and dump it in there. And I'm just going to dump it into my bowl. Okay, now I'm going to check my butter real quick to see if it got soft. I have to be careful because my bowl is not very deep. Let's see here. It's soft, but I think I want it just a little softer because I don't want to have to mix that much. I don't want to make the cake tough. Okay, so I'm going to put it back in the microwave for about 30 more seconds. And while that is getting softer, I'm going to go get a cup of milk because this calls for a cup of water, and I'm substituting a cup of milk. Again, this will just make it richer, more dense, more like a homemade cake. And I'm doing equal, so it's 1 cup of water, so it's 1 cup of milk. And I'm pouring it off camera because I just don't want to spill. Okay, so my 1 cup of milk instead of 1 cup of water, and my 1 cup of softened butter instead of half a cup of oil. I'm going to set this down for just a second. Now in here is just the packaged dry mix from the cake box. And if you remember if you think about what's in here, it's just flour, sugar, baking soda, salt, and that's it. So it is the basis of a homemade cake. But when you add water and oil, it kind of makes it a fast food cake, sort of, instead of a homemade, kind of like what your grandmother used to make cake. Okay, so as you can see, again, just our dry mix. Now I'm going to add my 1 cup of butter in place of half a cup of vegetable oil. I don't know where I get that oil from. Okay. And I'm going to add in 1 cup of milk instead of 1 cup of water. Now, before I mix this, I want to also add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And the 1 teaspoon of vanilla will just give it, again, more richness, more decadence to it. And this is just a vanilla cake. If you wanted to, you could add, to make it fresher, to make it more summer, you could definitely add in some lemon zest and some fresh lemon juice. You could add in some orange zest, fresh orange juice. You could add in, you know, fresh lime. Any type of citrus you want would definitely brighten it and lighten it up and give it just a delicious flavor. If you add berries, you'd want to cut back on your milk because berries add wetness to it. Okay, I'm going to add 1, so I have a teaspoon, and I'm just going to add an extra teaspoon of vanilla flavoring right in there, just to give it that home taste. Okay, now I'm going to switch you around. Okay, I'm going to bring that down, and I'm going to lock it, and just turn it on really quick. Oops. Okay, I'm just going to turn them really quick. Okay, you want it just to get mixed, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a rubber spatula, and I'm just going to make sure that the sides are all blended and that it got to the bottom okay, and I think it did. It appears to. Okay, now I'm going to let that rest a minute, and I'm going to come over to my 8x8 pan, and I'm going to butter it all over so it doesn't stick real quick. Okay, now I'm going to take off my paddle here. Once I get it all off, I'm going to put this to soak. I'm going to scrape into my bowl. Into my pan, sorry. Sorry, this is kind of hard for me with my CRPS, but that's okay. I wish I could smell this. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. It's so like vanilla and just... Alright, now I'm just going to spread it around. There we go. My oven is at 350 degrees. I'm going to plop it in there. I'll see you soon. Well, the cake is out. Now we just have to wait for it to cool off, and then I'll show you a trick for decorating. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright guys, so the cake is cooled and it's out, and I'm going to show you how to just frost it really easily with just some abnormally pink frosting. And then I'll show you how to use a Ziploc to kind of make some decorations, because it really is that easy. And anybody can do it. But first, we're just going to take a spoon, and we're going to put some of the bright pink abnormal strawberry colored frosting on our cake. What I'm going to do is, now I've got a base coat down, I'm going to take a small Ziploc, and I'm going to make it to where this pointy side is the only thing showing. I'm going to fold it over, okay, and it looks like that. And I'm going to spoon in some of this. There's my point, so I'm just going to work it all the way down to my point. Before I cut the hole in my point, I've got it all the way down there now. I'm going to take a pair of scissors and just snip off the edge. Okay, and then you just kind of up and down. And it makes like a wavy edge. Okay. that was up and down, and it made the curly edge. You could also do it. Let's see if I can show you forwards and backwards. So it's like, this one's kind of soft, but you get the idea. It looks kind of like knots. See? Like that. Okay. You could also just do like dots and go like, so you could have a squiggly line, a folded line, like that, or you could have dots. Very easy. You could also, if you wanted to, add a little cornstarch to your frosting, or a little powdered sugar to stiffen it up, and then you would be able to write with it. So kind of like, let's see if I can, it's a little soft and I didn't put anything in it, but let's see if I can get it to do. Okay. And there, you can even write a name with it. So those are just some little tricks you could use, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you will try making a box cake into a homemade cake. If you do, let me know how it turns out down in the comments. Thanks guys, take care. Bye.